winner by submission, the Ring General, Gunther!
Shocking backstage reaction to John Cena's retirement match. From Bryan Alvarez's criticism to R-Truth's emotional response and the reported chaos within WWE headquarters, this is one story you don't want to miss. Let's get into it. On December 13th, 2025, at Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C., John Cena stepped into a WWE ring for the final time. His opponent, the Ring General, Gunther, a man who promised to do the unthinkable, make John Cena tap out. After a grueling 23-minute battle, Cena submitted to Gunther's sleeper hold, something he hadn't done in over 20 years. Gunther became only the fourth wrestler ever to make Cena tap out, joining Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit in that exclusive club. But here's where it gets crazy. The moment Cena tapped, the Capital One Arena erupted, and not in a good way. Fans immediately started chanting, "Don't give up," throughout the match, and when the finish came, they showered the ring with bullshit chants.
My dear friends, around about 36 hours removed from John Cena properly retiring from WWE, the internet is melting down. I'm sure you've seen all the clips from post-Saturday night's main event when the fans who were live there were booing Triple H are going absolutely crazy. Now, personally, I enjoy it when these kind of in-storyline controversial things happen because it just gives us so much to talk about, which brings me to today's video, which asks the simple question: did WWE get this wrong when we came to John Cena's retirement? Now, please do check out my review from yesterday because I'm sure I touched on some points there.
When Triple H came out to honor Cena, the crowd turned on him with brutal chants of, "You f***ed up." This was supposed to be a celebration, but it turned into a riot. Now here's the bombshell. According to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio and Fightful Select, WWE was completely blindsided by the fan reaction. Let me repeat that. They had no idea fans would react this negatively. Meltzer stated, and I quote, "There are many people in WWE who did not agree with that decision, but the guy in charge did it. Even though they may say something different publicly, they were blindsided by that reaction."
You know, I was thinking about that old saying, it's, what is it? I'm not as good as I once was, but once I can be as good as I ever was, and god damn it, he did that tonight.
I thought Cody did a great job. I thought Cena did a great job. That was an excellent match. One of the best matches WWE's had on the main roster in a long, long time. Better than the ladder match, which was a TLC match, which I thought was fantastic.
Think about that. Triple H made the call to have Cena tap out, and apparently there was no discussion beforehand about how fans might respond. Fightful Select reported that Triple H had a huge smile on his face at the end of the match. He genuinely thought it went well.
I'm actually mildly disappointed. I thought it would be so much louder. Are you surprised by this at all? Stop with that, Paul! There are high modern conditions. The way that you handle. Fuck you, Hunter! John has said the right thing. Higher career better.
But when he walked out for the post-show panel and got booed out of the building, reality hit hard. His comment about being mildly disappointed that the boos could have been louder, that was just a defense mechanism, trying to play it off like this was all part of the plan. Alvarez suggested that Cena should have passed out in the sleeper hold instead of tapping. Here's his reasoning. I don't think he would have gotten that reaction if John Cena would have just passed out in that sleeper hold. They got that reaction because for 20 years, people have been sold on never give up. How many shirts do you think they've sold that say never give up?
I kept saying we learned from Sting that you can win your retirement match and it's not going to kill the business, and in fact, it makes people happy. But it's not even that we learned from Sting. I mean, this whole thing about losing on your way out, this old school losing on your way out, the time-honored tradition. Remember when Vince talked about Brett and the time-honored tradition, and he should have put someone over? Remember that? Well, why? What was the time-honored tradition about Brett?
He's absolutely right. Cena's entire brand, his entire legacy, is built on never giving up. WWE has made millions selling that message. So to have him tap out, to literally give up, in his final match, it completely contradicts everything Cena represented for 2 decades. Passing out would have shown he fought until he physically couldn't continue. Tapping out showed he made a conscious choice to quit. That's the difference that angered fans.
I made John Cena give up! And when he gave up, I'm the best professional wrestler in this company. He tapped out like a little bitch.
Now let's talk about someone who was deeply affected by this moment. R-Truth, Cena's longtime friend and on-screen brother. In an emotional interview immediately after the match, Truth described his feelings as bittersweet. He said, "I prepared myself for yes, this is his last ride, his last run, he's done. But the emotion I felt seeing it happen, with the energy, the people, the whole vibe was just supportive. It was almost bittersweet, so proud and happy for him to have his moment."
Sometimes in the moment is the best reaction to get. That way you don't have to act. It's naturally, organically coming from you. So I prepared myself for, this is his last ride, his last run. He's done. But the emotion I felt, seeing it happen, the energy, the people, the whole vibe was it was a supportive vibe. And it's almost like it was a bittersweet. So proud, so happy for him to have his moment.
Truth talked about how Cena dedicated so much to the business, his time, his body, his mind, his resilience. He emphasized that Cena being able to choose when and how to exit on his own terms was something to be proud of, but even Truth admitted the loss was hard to watch. When asked about the finish, he said he applauded because Cena would be the first to tell you, you can't win them all.
You can't win them all. He'd be the first one to tell you, man, you got to hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up, but you can't win them all.
During the match itself, Truth and other commentators noted they could see grown men and children crying in the audience. Megan Morant, who was calling the match, said she was biting the inside of her lip trying to control her emotions, wondering if each attitude adjustment would be the last one she'd ever see. This wasn't just another match. This was the end of an era, and everyone felt it. This reveals a significant divide within WWE's creative team. When the top decision maker pushes through a controversial finish without adequately gauging how fans might react, it creates internal friction.
Gunther is feasting on the carcass of John Cena's career.
John Cena has tapped out.
Here is your winner, by submission, the Ring General, Gunther!
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, professional wrestling destroyed sports entertainment.
Gunther just became bell to bell the standard bearer.
The fact that WWE was caught so off guard by the backlash suggests there may have been a disconnect between management and the fan base. Wrestling is ultimately about connecting with your audience, and in this moment, WWE completely misread the room. On the following Monday Night Raw, Gunther opened the show and was booed mercilessly, especially when he declared he made Cena tap out like a bitch. WWE is now trying to spin this as intentional heat for Gunther, positioning him as a career killer who could retire more legends in 2026.
He just said how he made John Cena give up.
And when he gave up, he tapped out like a little bitch.
But was this the right call for Cena's final moment? Let's step back and look at what this means for WWE and professional wrestling as a whole. John Cena's retirement match was supposed to be a celebration, a chance for fans to say goodbye to one of the greatest of all time. Instead, it became one of the most controversial finishes in recent WWE history.
Bill, the only thing I can say is I saw a lot of people cry. Do I believe that's the way it should have ended? I might have done it differently. I think it might have been better for everyone had it ended differently. But you and I have been in the business for a while, and I guess the unwritten rule is when you're going out, you're going down. So I guess the only thing I can say is they did what they had to do, what's best for business. I think Gunther and Cena put on a tremendous show. I think the match was outstanding. There were a few slow spots in there for a while, and then that match picked right up with a stop and go. There were several areas there where I was amazed that both men were still on their feet. That's how good that match was.
I'm actually mildly disappointed. I thought it would be so much longer.
John Cena Sr., the father of WWE legend John Cena, has officially broken his silence regarding his son's recent loss in his final match at Saturday night's main event. And folks, he's not holding back. John Cena Sr. has sent a clear warning message to WWE and Triple H over John Cena's controversial loss. His father declared, "I'm not happy with my son's loss. WWE is scripted, and they told my son to lose. My son would choose to pass out, but not tap out."
My dear friends, around about 36 hours removed from John Cena properly retiring from WWE, the internet is melting down. I'm sure you've seen all the clips from post-Saturday night's main event when the fans who were live there were booing Triple H are going absolutely crazy. Now, personally, I enjoy it when these kind of in-storyline controversial things happen because it just gives us so much to talk about, which brings me to today's video, which asks a simple question: did WWE get this wrong?
I love the question. You enjoying the show? Whole part of the show, man.
Stay tuned as we break down everything John Cena Sr. said, the controversy surrounding the match finish, and what this means for WWE's decision-making. Let's set the stage. December 13th, 2025. Saturday night's main event. Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. The entire WWE universe gathered to witness history, John Cena's final match.
It all came at the hands of the ring general Gunther, who basked in the shock and awe of what he had done. Now, Gunther turns his attention back to Monday Night Raw and to his next task at hand. What will Gunther say and do in his first appearance since retiring the GOAT?
After defeating LA Knight in the Last Time Is Now tournament, Gunther promised he would make Cena tap out. And after a grueling 24-minute battle, that's exactly what happened. Gunther locked in a sleeper hold, and for the first time in his legendary career finale, John Cena tapped out. The crowd was stunned. Tears flowed throughout the arena. Fans booed. Social media exploded with criticism directed at Triple H for this booking decision. But nobody was more upset than John Cena's own father, John Cena Sr.
There's no way for people to understand that in the moment, you know. But you do what is right for the business. You do what is right for this industry. John has done that his entire career. And I'm going to do that my entire career. I will do what I believe is right for this business. It just is what it is. And I understand that's tough for people to understand, but, you know, it's part of what we do. That is the role we have chosen.
Was there ever even a question in your mind that this would be what the end looked like? It feels very Cena for it to be this way.
Yeah, I mean, that is... If you were to say, what will Cena do on his way out, take the emotion out of it and ask people, what would John Cena do? And I'm talking about the character, his entire career. Sum that all up and say, what would he do on the way out? Right? If we want to talk behind the scenes, he will put over somebody on the way out. He will leave this better than he found it. He will go into the ring and he will make somebody on his way out. That's what John does. It's what John has always done. You know, and I know people will criticize this. I think people will look at it. People will talk about this moment right here. I've got big shoulders. I'm good with it.
In an exclusive interview with wrestling journalist Bill Apter, John Cena Sr. did not hold back his feelings. Listen to what he said. "The only thing I can say is that I saw a lot of people cry. Do I believe that's the way it should have ended? I would have done it differently. I think it might have been better for everyone if it had ended differently."
The only thing I can say is I saw a lot of people cry. Do I believe that's the way it should have ended? I might have done it differently. I think it might have been better for everyone had it ended.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Cena Sr. acknowledged the wrestling tradition, the unwritten rule that when you're going out, you go down. He said, "The unwritten rule is that when you're going out, you're going down. So I guess all I can say is they did what they had to do, what was best for business."
The unwritten rule is when you're going out, you're going down. So I guess the only thing I can say is they did what they had to do, what's best for business.
However, and this is crucial, John Cena Sr. made it crystal clear that the tap-out was the problem. He stated he would have expected his son to pass out from the hold, not tap out. He wanted Gunther to still win, but through Cena losing consciousness and being unable to answer a 10 count, not by submission. Cena Sr. even questioned whether it was truly a tap-out, suggesting it might have been a last effort to break the hold. This reveals something significant. Even Cena's own father thought the finish looked questionable.
John Cena tapped out! What the hell? Cena just tapped out!
Now let's talk about wrestling tradition. John Cena Sr. mentioned the unwritten rule. When you retire, you put it over the next generation. This has been a wrestling protocol for decades. Think about it. Ric Flair lost his retirement match to Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels lost to The Undertaker. Edge lost his final match. It's about passing the torch. Bill Apter, the legendary wrestling journalist, even compared this moment to Bruno Sammartino losing his championship to Ivan Koloff back in 1971 at Madison Square Garden. Apter said there were barely any dry eyes in the house, just like at Cena's retirement match.
Do you want to quit?
No.
19,000 fans are in shock. John Cena has tapped out. It's been over 20 years since that man has tapped out. This is not the way that anyone wanted this legendary career to end.
But here's the key difference. There's losing with dignity, and there's losing by tapping out. For a character like John Cena, who built his entire legacy on never give up, tapping out feels like a betrayal of everything he represented for 23 years. So why does the tap out matter so much? Let me break this down for you. John Cena's entire WWE persona was built on resilience, determination, and never giving up. For 2 decades, fans watched Cena overcome impossible odds. The tap-out symbolizes surrender, something Cena's character never represented. Cena Sr. proposed an alternative finish. Gunther could have won by making Cena pass out from the sleeper hold. Gunther would still be the winner. He would still look dominant. But Cena would preserve his legacy by going out unconscious, still fighting until the very end, unable to continue but never surrendering. This is what Cena Sr. meant when he said, "I think it might have been better for everyone if it had ended differently." He's not upset that his son lost. He's upset about how he lost.
I think it might have been better for everyone had it ended differently. But you and I have been in the business for a while, and I guess the unwritten rule is when you're going out, you're going down. So I guess the only thing I can say is they did what they had to do, what's best for business.
And honestly, looking at the fan reaction, the tears, the boos, the social media backlash, it seems like a lot of people agree with him. The WWE Universe has been vocal about their feelings. Social media exploded with criticism directed at Triple H and WWE's creative team. Fans posted videos of themselves crying. They expressed frustration and disappointment. Many echoed Cena Sr.'s sentiments.